everyone.
Hello.
Waterfall.
All right, thank you. So we're gonna go through some pictures. I'm not quite sure how accurate some of these dates are. Every time I showed her a picture, she goes, "Oh, that was a long time ago."
She's been around a long time.
I'm not sure. It says the 40s. That might be the 70s. It might be we don't know what year, but
We were just trying to go by the haircuts and the color of the picture.
So this is Granny in the 1940s when she was very young. She thinks she was probably around 13, 14 years old with her friend Margaret. This is in late 40s in Happy Valley, Labrador. This is the 1950s with Aunt Lorraine.
You guys had earrings back then?
Yeah, with the beautiful with the glasses. I love the glasses. This is in the 50s in Nova Scotia. She's thinking near Bridgewater. This is in the 1950s as well. She's quite, yeah, that's Granny when she was young.
She still is young.
Yes. This is in Happy Valley in the 60s. This is in Halifax in the 60s. This is my mother here, my uncle Bob. That's Granny there, and this was who?
That's Patsy and her son.
That's right, Patsy. Remember who they were. This is at Citadel Hill in the 60s. This is in the 70s at Aunt Lena's place. So fashionable in every one of these pictures. This is in Bridgewater in the 70s. I think she had some type of animal here.
Not a chihuahua.
Beautiful dress. This is my grandfather, Bubsy, Bob Renner.
Oh, wow. That's your husband?
This is in the 70s in Bridgewater. This one is also in Bridgewater in the 70s. This is in Chester in the 70s. Beautiful picture sitting on the porch. This is my Nana. This is Elsie Renner, born in 1906. And yeah, she lived. They took Granny and or Nana and took care of her at the house and didn't put her in a home. And I was not bad.
There I was at the racing horse.
This was she was the racehorse in Truro. This is Christmas, and I think that's
That's my dad.
Viola.
That's my husband.
That's Viola's husband.
That's my grandfather.
That's her, yeah. This is Christmas in the 70s. You can tell by the Christmas tree in the back. My grandfather, and here's Granny here. This is my Uncle Bob. There's me when I was pretty young. We figured this is in 76. There's Nana here. This is Wayne and Ronnie. My mom and my dad. With the biggest afro I've ever seen.
You had to cut mine.
And speaking of my father, these are my two brothers right here. Do you guys want to wave your hands there? It's my brother Scott and Mike.
I didn't see Scott show
None
up.
of us got the afro. This is her in Hartford, Connecticut in the 80s. I think this was her at a burger kitchen doing burgers, selling burgers.
Kitchen, yeah. I was selling hamburgers.
Look at this hair, look at that
Look at the glasses.
This is her at where she was the one who actually spotted the Loch Ness Monster for the first time.
Someone stole that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
This is her playing spoons
Yeah.
at Oktoberfest in the 80s. She had a wide variety of talents. This is St. Patty's Day, obviously. This is her at Halloween in the 80s, dressed up as Freddy Krueger.
Christina, that was at your father and mother's place. You can see your mother in the background there.
Mother, we're gone?
And this is before she had the costume on. This is in the 80s. This is Signal Hill in the 90s. This is my grandfather again in the 90s. There's me. They think this is probably 1998.
That's you in the middle.
Yeah, that is me in the middle, yeah?
Yep. Thanks, Mom, for telling
You still
us.
have the same color hair.
He hasn't aged at all. He hasn't aged at all, has he?
I think Granny's only gotten shorter because I just took a picture and she was under my armpit in the picture. It's at Hester Street in the 2000s. This picture is when she took her car in to get the airbag replaced because there was a recall and they forgot to put the bolt back on the steering wheel. And when she took a corner, the steering wheel came off in her hands and she almost ran into the post. So she literally was just had a steering wheel in her hand.
And that's her son Bobby, the guy with the big beard off on the side there. That's my father.
But she slammed on the brakes and look, she missed the pole by that much.
Hey, that's good in horseshoes.
This is her father. This is Jean-Baptiste Gauguin.
You look like a president. You like him, eh?
He was a good man.
Takes after you.
Lorraine said he was a good man, a jack of all trades, and a master of none. This is a picture of her feeding ducks, which we'll actually come back to in another story coming up here. This is her on Armdale Beach in the 1960s. This is her once again fashionable. This is Aunt Lorraine again in the 1970s. This is in Montreal.
And in the back of that picture, that's her painting.
That's in the ring.
You actually paint?
Yeah, that's her.
She's a Lorraine
She
picture.
has a whole
Sister.
Oh.
This is in Whistler at an art museum. Just a few years back.
I still don't know what the heck that picture is.
No,
There with an Elvis impersonator.
yeah, dressed as a cowboy.
Gets around.
So one of my favorite things to do on her birthdays was come up with something fun. I had many nicknames for her. I have things I would tease her about, and I'd always put it on her birthday cakes. And a lot of times I would call her Magoo, as like Mr. Magoo, the bumbly,
What?
Mr. Magoo. So I
Yeah.
said Happy Birthday Magoo on this one. I think this was
No, that actually, I think that's my buddy Roger.
75th, I believe.
I was probably the one holding the
This is her
camera.
Bermuda.
Jeez, you got around.
It's another one of her in Bermuda.
I look like you do,
Yep.
Lola.
Another one in Bermuda. Well, this is a picture of my grandfather here. I think he was in,
In Korea.
yeah, but this was when he was still in, was this, was he in
Let's think Canada got beer.
Yeah, maybe in Manitoba or something.
This is probably before he shipped off completely.
Yeah, it's before he shipped off.
That's my.
This is our, so last night we had a nice little reunion and a lot of the family, Granny didn't know we're coming. We brought them in and we brought one, we had her back to the door and we just kept bringing one new person in after another. And yeah, there were actually earlier, there was people in the restaurant. Nobody was eating. I looked over and everybody was looking facing us. The other customers were crying.
We were all
We were all crying.
Even me, and I don't cry very much.
This is on Memorial Day
Remembrance Day.
for my grandfather. This is her skiing up in Cape Breton in the 80s. Some cross country
Was
skiing.
there anything you didn't do in
She
here?
was such an
I
athlete.
did everything.
Yep. Another one with her with a dog, and we say this is in the 90s somewhere. So,
And he's a big top singer, that guy, and I wanted to take a picture of him.
look how happy she loves country music. I'll tell you that.
Country music.
This is not sure the year of this, probably in the 70s, 80s, something like that. This is recent. That was a few years back now. Another picture.
As Mom would say, it's a while ago.
We don't know when that is. Black and white, so it kind of helps.
60s.
A few more older pictures of her. Here's
Is that Halloween or what?
Perfect face for that.
This is Halloween again. This is there's Ronnie right here, and that's Wayne who passed. And there's Granny there in the middle on Hester Street. Figure this in the 70s at some point. Now speaking of fashion, look at this. Yes. Fur collar.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah, look at that.
Beautiful legs you have.
Look at the gams.
I'm jealous.
I think that's one. There's this is probably I think just in the late 70s before I moved to Ontario with my stepmom. That's my Uncle Bob right there. My Nana, Elsie Renner. There's another picture of us when we were I was probably 6 or 7 years old there.
Oh, you're
Probably,
so cute.
yeah, in the
Oh,
80s.
girl.
This is also another picture we think from the 40s, maybe
I was
50s,
gonna say.
something like that. From this is Granny here going off to softball in Moncton when she was about 15 years old, 16 years old.
Yeah. You're a great player, I heard too. Oh, yeah.
Another one all dressed up, all fancy.
She looks very shocked there. She must have seen something surprising.
There's Uncle Leo.
And it's, yeah,
Uncle Leo.
Leo, that's one of the brothers. There's the pin. I don't know if you saw, she had this pin here. This is from the 60s.
That's nice.
Yeah, beautiful picture. This is a picture of us playing bingo out in Vancouver, and we were at it was a bit of a sketchy part of town, and there was a big jackpot. And if you got there was a $5,000 jackpot, and if you got bingo before the 50th number, you won the 5,000 jackpot. When he went on the last number before it was going to be done, I yelled out bingo. No, I didn't have it. Wow.
And I could have killed them because they were all uptight and they're all ready to fight us.
He wouldn't have made it out of there alive if I did.
Yeah, he hauled a bingo. I damn near died.
I said go bingo.
She could have killed him if she would, but unfortunately, I don't think she could have reached his neck.
Tippy toes, maybe.
Well, I'll never forget that.
Here's another one. This is
Cheryl, Viola.
a picture of Viola and her husband. This is look how beautiful. Look at this. So beautiful.
Oh, look, and I got my eyes closed again.
Even back then?
At least you have a head. When half the pictures of me, I'm headless.
Granny again on Christmas. There's my grandmother Elsie again. Elsie she died. My Nana died when she was 92.
92.
Yeah, she was 92 years old. And that's my grandfather when he was probably in his early 20s. So, yeah. Where's my remote? All right, so
now you guys seen all my history.
So when I was 6, I moved to Ontario with my mom and my stepfather, and I visit on occasions. When I'd visit, we'd stay up all hours of the night playing her favorite game, my favorite game too, Rummy 500. And Granny always loves staying up late. And I used to win a lot, but
beats him sometimes.
yeah, but to this day, I'm pretty sure that she let me win on purpose. Her favorite line when she was losing was, "Now I'm gonna play right cagey." That was her favorite. I didn't know what that meant, but I got scared. I moved back to Halifax when I was 16 to finish high school, and I lived with her for a year during grade 12 on Hester Street. I played football, and I'd wake up every morning early, around 6 or 7 o'clock, to go to the gym up at the Sportsplex here. But some nights I'd go partying with my friends, and I'd come home really, really late, and actually so late it was early. And one morning I came home around 5 o'clock, and she was up already. And she says, "What are you doing up? Are you going to the gym?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's it. I'm going to the gym." So I used to use that excuse a lot, a handful of times from then on. Brilliant. When she caught me coming home from the bars in the wee hours. And she was pretty gullible, Granny. I love her to death, but she's pretty gullible. I heard stories from my mom where her and my dad and my Uncle Bob would go out in the backyard to smoke some marijuana. And they would tell her they were going out for a toke. Well, her English was so bad that she thought they were going out to catch toads, like frogs. So she'd be like, "Oh yes, go get some tokes." Yeah. No, she knew if she knew they were drugs, she would have put the boots to them. But
by the time I came around, she never fell for anything. I couldn't get away with nothing, even when I was telling the truth, which I always was, because I was a good kid. And I never got away with. I was always lying. No matter what I did, I was lying.
some of my fondest memories are when she would come visit me in Whistler. I moved out to Whistler, BC. It's where I live now. And she'd come visit me, and very fast. It's a very small community. It's only a couple thousand, like 10,000 people. And she became the town granny. Everybody knew her. Whistler's a ski resort in British Columbia, and I opened a cigar store there 26 years ago. And I even opened a dollar store in 2004, exactly 20 years ago. And that when she started to come out and visit more regularly. She loved dollar stores. And when I told her I was opening one, she was so happy. She said, "Oh, I want to come out. I want to come out." So while I was opening the main store, I had a space above the cigar store. I did a pop-up Christmas store. And you know how busy Christmas is, and Granny wanted to help, so I flew her out. And I mean, who could say no to free labor, right? So because it was just for a few weeks and done so fast, I didn't really have time to get a credit card machine for upstairs. So if anybody wanted to pay by credit card, they had to run downstairs to the cigar store to use the machine down the stairs. So it's a lot of ups and downs. And on the first day, she was 70 years old at the time. She said after the first 2 trips up and down that was it. There was no more. She couldn't do another trip. So I was like, okay, no worries. We got some of the other staff to do it. And then the next day I got to the shop mid-afternoon. She was already there, and she was full speed up and down, and nothing could stop her. If somebody said, if she's like, "Oh, a credit card? I'll take you down." So the poor staff couldn't do anything. Every time they tried, she did everything. They were just standing there. But because everybody in Whistler is kind of from around the world on working visas, Granny became the town granny because everybody knew her and missed their own grannies, and she sort of became the surrogate granny. And at that point, I lived there for quite a few years. I knew a lot of people, but within about a week or so, we'd walk around town, and all you say is, "Hi, Granny. Hello, Granny. Hey, there's Granny. Hey, Granny, it's me." That's all you'd hear. People would, even they would be walking with their friends, and they'd say, "Hey, there's my Granny. I want to introduce you to my Granny." And I was like, "Wait a second, that's my Granny, not yours." Well, it's too late. Everybody who met her loved her. when she left, even after she left to come back home, every day people would come back in and ask, was Granny around? Is Granny still here? So the next year when we did the Christmas store again, I put a full page in the ad announcing the Christmas store was opening again, and no one cared about the store. They just asked, is Granny going to be coming back? So I got real smart, and I realized I just advertised Granny is coming back in the newspaper. And come down to see Granny, and everybody did, and sales went through the roof. So that was a great marketing tip to anybody who wants to start a business. She'd get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. She'd go to the shop, open it at 9. She'd take the bus in. I'd get up around noon, and I'd head into work. And then she'd work until 9 p.m. at night, and then head over to the Irish pub. And I'd close up this, so I had the dollar store and the cigar store. The cigar store stayed open until midnight. I work at the dollar store during the day, and then I'd go to the cigar store for the evening. And I close up at midnight, and I get to the Irish pub at just after midnight, and she danced everybody off their feet. They're all in chairs. I could just see people she'd be trying to come grab them up. Nobody wanted to. They're all beat. So at 1 o'clock, she closed the place down. I drive her home. And the next morning, she'd wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she'd do it all over again every day for the entire time that she was there. And it's true. It's just unbelievable, the energy. And Robert and Granddad were furious because she was supposed to come out for 2 weeks, and I kept her for over 2 months.
You were starving to death.
I closed down the dollar store a few years later due to other things, and I missed that store because Granny used to come visit every year for Christmas to work. And she told me years later that the store changed her life. She said in the years leading up to her 70s, she was going through some depression, started just to sit around the house. She started to gain some weight, and it would have killed her if she kept on that path. But the dollar store got her on her feet, active, turned everything around. It gave her purpose. She felt useful, productive, and valued. It saved her life, and those are one of the things I'm most proud of in my life. Once she started, she just never stopped, and now that's why she's here today, celebrating her 90th birthday. So, this is a great time for a washroom break to get some drinks. I have a couple videos from some people that she knew, from my friends, ex-girlfriends, staff from my businesses that have sent videos that fell in love with her and wanted to wish her a happy birthday from afar that couldn't make it. So we can just restart this up in about 5-10 minutes if you guys want to do a little break.